Tutorial video. In today's tutorial video, we're going to be looking at a medium-sized anime breast. So, this will kind of fit onto our classic anime figure that we did. So we're not trying to make these breasts too big, we're not trying to make them too small. We're just going for a nice in-between shape. And just like in our previous one, I'm going to start with the shoulder line, and with my center line, and I will sketch in my ribs, like so. Sketch in the bottom of the ribs, put my small shoulder circles just in the middle part here, just so the actual rib cage is like kind of in the center of them. Then I'll make sure that that attaches with the pit and my collarbone off the tops of my shoulders. Drop in some little arm shapes that are going to get cut off here. And I can follow this shape down into my waist. I'm going to point this a little bit nicer. Get rid of some of this. It's a little bit softer shape. There we go. And I'll add in some details here, my neck, some shallow traps. Alright, and from here we will just look at the chest hanging naturally with nothing to really get in the way. So, we're gonna give little like teardrop shapes just barely poking out from the sides. And this outside line connects to our armpit area. And I try to get these roughly even. Just lots of little lines till you get a overall shape that you like. Just be a little bit larger. Like so. Gonna move my neck over a bit, it's kind of off center. Kind of round this a little bit nicer. There we go. So again, we're just kind of going for little teardrop shapes, kind of like that. They're just hanging there, so they're going to be hanging out to the side slightly. They're not going to be real close together. From there, we can look at our second position where she is wearing a bra. So, just going to do the same thing here. Plot in my rib cage, my shoulder circles, up at my collarbone, attach these with the pit, put in our line since our chest has to fall below that line, just under like the pit of the pit in the shoulders there. Drop in this. More delicate of a shape here. Poke these out. There we go. Then we want to throw in our neck, traps. There. So this time it's going to be the same size of chest, but now that there's a bra, it's going to be pushing the chest in and up a little bit. But the mass has to go somewhere, so it's going to be a little bit more rounded. So this time, I'll start from the inside, like this. So now we can kind of see the outside of the ribs here. Then, starting from this outside section here, I will attach bra, like so. There we go. And we'll be able to kind of see how it pudges out on either end once we actually get to that section here. going to round this side out a little bit more, even this one up. There we go. And I'll just kind of bring everything in on this side because it's a little too wide over here. There. Alright, and for the last position we're going to look at, we'll have her leaning forward. So I'm first going to start the circle. This is like where our neck is getting cut off. Then I'm going to do my collarbones just below it, with my shoulders about the same distance apart. Traps connect to them, and then from there, from the bottom of my shoulder, I'm going to start this line that kind of curves in, out, back in like this. That is the front part of our chest. I'm going to put in my necklines, like so. Better shape out my shoulders here, so they kind of connect better. And add in my little arms, like this. Alright, so now, because this character's chest is larger, they're probably going to naturally have a gap about this wide in them. And then they're going to come out from the armpit and then connect to that gap. And we kind of want it to look a little bit like a teardrop, or like a water drop, just about to fall off of something. And we want the main mass to be here kind of at the bottom. Like that. And we just want to make sure that these are the same approximate size. It is a little bit more natural to have a slight imbalance, so it's not the end of the world, but you just don't want it to be a super, super noticeable imbalance. Like this. Alright, so from there, I'm going to quick drop this shoulder down a little bit. There we go. And now we will actually put in the hard lines. So starting from the pit, I'm just going to draw in this shape. Going to give it a little bit more natural of a shape though. Like so. And my shoulder, attaching to my collarbone, my neckline, traps, ribs. Just getting the overall shape here. I'm not worried about the quality of my line art. This is just a steady. Next, I'll just put in this shape here. And I like to just start with the part of the breast that's actually in the cup. So I'll do this. Draw the cups first. Then just spilling out will be our actual breast. And we'll barely see the little side straps here. So our chest is big enough that they're almost covered. Then we want this to just be poking out slightly, connecting into the pit. We'll tuck the rib cage back up in there and attach her arms. Her neck in. There we go. Oops, gotta add the straps. Then we will quick do this and then review what we have done. So we'll put this here, collarbones, traps, shoulders into the chest section here. Same with this side. Okay, gotta get this one bigger. There we go. From there, I will add pit, well as this centerpiece. This is just kind of the bones and the ribs, so this part's not going to really move, but we want to attach these to it. So then, just want our little water drop shapes as if they're about to fall off of a flat object. So we want the main mass here, so it kind of comes in, out, back in. So that's a super exaggerated one. We still want them to be hold their shape a little bit better, just because she's not like a really old character. Like if they were really old, then they would be really saggy, but we want her to have some good shape still. So there you have it. So just quick review. When they're hanging naturally, they're just going to kind of fall out to the side, keeping that sort of teardrop shape. Not a whole lot going on there. In the bra, though, it's going to be pushing them up and in. So you just want to bring them within that center line here. So now, our center line's right here. Now our chest is crossed against it. Whereas up before, it was hanging just to the sides of it. And then for this one, again, it's just like a little water drop about to fall off of something. And we want the main mass to be like in this area right here. I'm just going to quick add in my little arm details here. And there you have it. So that is part 1 of our medium anime breast tutorial. And in part 2, we'll look at another action pose as well as with the breast being pressed upon, so you can kind of see the shapes that they contort to in that position. So hopefully you found this helpful, and I will see you in the next one.